Today I'm running to the dark truths about animals by the Hoodie guy. Some orcas literally eat baby animals as their mothers helplessly watch. Seeing T-Rex literally pin down their prey and then eat them alive. And for context on who the Hoodie guy is, just know he makes fun animations about dark things. Let's start with his most popular videos, animals that are secretly best friends.
These are 4 animals you didn't know were best friends. First, ravens and wolves work together to hunt, where ravens will fly around looking for prey, then flying back to the wolves, getting their attention and leading them to the animal they saw, waiting for the kill and sharing the meal. Next,
that's so broken. You got a UAV, then a mob of killer machines, bro. How do you beat that? You can't beat that. UAV and killers.
hermit crabs and the anemone basically team up together to survive. Since an anemone can't move fast, the crab will pick it up and equip it on its shell. The anemone helps defend the crab with its stinging tentacles, while the crab gives it much faster transportation and also shares scraps of its food every time it eats. Next, coyotes and badgers hunt together. Since coyotes are better at covering ground and badgers are better underground, the coyote will chase the prey on land, and if it goes under, the badger will take over, leaving the prey with no options or ways to escape, sharing their meal. Finally,
Dude. These are some of the most broken strategies an animal can use, bro. What the? Yo, this is low-key unfair, bro. That's a 2v1. You can't beat that.
Humans and wild dolphins in Brazil work together to catch fish. The dolphins will find a school of fish and herd them towards the fishermen. When the fish are close, the dolphin will slap the water with its tail, signaling the fishermen to cast the net, causing the fish to scatter and get disorientated, so it's easier for the dolphins to catch, rewarding both of them.
Yo, yeah, this ain't fair, bro. This ain't fair. Unless these humans somewhere are still working with wild animals. That is nice to see. They're teaming, bro. That's all I'm saying. Out of 2v1, bro. That's like you're going to a pub lobby and you see teamers. The hell are you supposed to do? The only way you can beat them is you outskill. But that's a game. This is real life. You can't outskill the other person unless you're like stronger or faster, some sort of aspect. Like, bro, crab being first class Ubers, giving them free samples. Yes, sir.
These are 4 animals with the most depressing lives. First is a cicada. You hatch from an egg, fall into the dirt, and dig straight down. With no wings or eyes, you wait underground for 13 to 17 years doing nothing but eating and growing. And after all of this waiting, they dig to the surface, live for about 3 weeks, and die. Next is the...
Yeah, that is pretty depressing, bro. That's the most... What are the point of cicadas, bro? I feel like they were just added to the world just because. Just because. Because, like, what do you mean 13 to 17 years, bro? And then, bro, you're underground for that long. Yeah, what can you do underground for long? Bro, there's not much to do. And then you go up for 3 weeks? What the hell?
Immortal
just might as well stay underground more, I guess.
You aimlessly float around the ocean, and when you get sick, injured, or old, you don't die. Instead, you sink to the bottom of the ocean, turn into a blob, and reset back into a baby, stuck in an infinite loop of doing nothing, where it only ends if you get mangled alive by a fish or a crab. But even worse is a male redback spider, where your only purpose in life is to sacrifice yourself, as female redbacks are 8 times bigger than the males, and during mating, they only breed for a few seconds, then diving into the female's mouth and getting brutally eaten alive to help fertilize her eggs. Then
I would be that, bro. I ain't gonna lie with you. I would be that. I would like to do my thing, get dominated, and then get eaten.
Lastly, the Greenland shark. You're born in total darkness and freezing cold Arctic water and can only swim slower than humans walk, where your daily routine is swimming alone in the dark, eating remains of dead animals, and eventually going blind from parasites in your eyes. Doing this again and again for a lifespan of over 400 years.
That's so boring.
Like,
this is low-key cool. Like, I would rather be this animal because, bro, you can bait people with the little light thing. That's always something interesting, bro. This Greenland shark, oh hell no, you eat dead animals. That's just, I mean, I don't know. From us humans, we know that's just nasty, bro. But you know, that one animal that does it, crows or carnivores or something, and one of those big birds does it. But then parasites just eating your eyes alive. Oh hell no. 13 to 17 years just to spend less than 1% of its actual free is crazy. Yeah, bro. Mommy, what happened to daddy? I hate him. Yeah, pretty much. Very interesting. I really gotta say that. That's just so interesting, bro.
Titanic was a lot more horrifying than you thought, and was far worse than what you learned. But why? First off, you would be sleeping when it hit the iceberg, waking up to a loud bang and shake in the middle of the night. And at first, you wouldn't even realize what happened. Most people going back to sleep thinking nothing of it. when only 20 minutes later you would start to hear commotion in the halls, being told to go to the top deck immediately. Still in your night clothes, thinking it was some kind of drill. At this point, the crew already knew the ship was going down, but you wouldn't even know it yet, only feeling a very slight tilt in the ship. On the top deck, they would try to keep you distracted by playing music while slowly releasing safety boats to prevent panic, where only women and children could escape first. But as time moved on, the tilting grew much worse, where people on the bottom deck would start to see water flowing through the halls and rooms, standing in a large crowd for over an hour waiting to hopefully get a lifeboat. But as the clock neared around 2 a.m., a slow realization would take place that there's not enough safety boats for everyone. At this point, the entire ship would go into a full panic, needing to fight against the crowd to try to get onto the last few boats. Within the panic, the ship would tilt even more, causing the power to go out, which would be pitch black since there was no moonlight on that day. At around 2:18, the tilt would become so extreme it would eventually cause the ship to snap in half, many people flying off or being hit by debris. And if you somehow stayed on the ship, it was now rapidly sinking, where your only choice was to either dive into the pitch black 28 degrees water trying to find the lifeboat, or stay on the ship slowly being lowered into the water, freezing to death.
Damn, bro. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. At that point, I mean, you couldn't know unless you knew the facts that there's no lifeguard or lifeboats left. Bro, like at that point, what you should do is probably just like get a life vest and like some sort of floaty thing. You build your own contraption and just hope for the best. Oh, that sucked, bro. Damn, man. The fact that it was a moonless pitch black night is a detail that makes it 1,000 times more terrifying. Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy, bro. Waking up from that is a real nightmare. Yeah, bro.
What would happen if all humans disappeared from Earth?
Whoa.
In the first 24 hours, lights all around the world would start to shut down as power grids fail, leaving everything in darkness. Then a few days in, subways would become flooded, and packs of wild animals along with plants will slowly take over cities. Then a few weeks in, all indoor pets and farm animals would begin to die without food or escape in the wild. About a month in, power plant water cooling would evaporate, causing meltdowns and disasters all around the world. Multiple months in, houses would start to rot due to weather, insects, and leaks. Then a year or two in, satellites would slowly start raining from the sky without proper maintenance. Over the next 25 to 50 years, nature would begin to reclaim everything, including cities. Animal populations would also increase, rebalancing many species. The air would also be much cleaner and easier to see with less pollution. Then over 200 years later, most buildings, bridges, and towers would start to deteriorate and disappear. Over 15,000 years later, the only evidence we existed would be made out of stone and small traces of metallic dust or pieces. A few million years later, even places like the pyramids and Mount Rushmore will be eroded completely. Then over 50 million years later, Earth will be completely back to normal with zero proof we ever existed.
These are definitely the dark truths about animals, bro. About life, bro. What the heck? Yo, the hoodie guy, bro. You don't have to tell me this. Ignorance is bliss, you know? Like, ignorance. I ain't trying to see this. Respect to this man for surviving 50 million years, bro. That is, like, bro really survived that long, too. Bro sounds so calm with the world falling apart around him. Exactly. Bro, like, everything's gone, like, destruction, and then, only then, 50 million years later, everything will be okay.
Have you ever wondered why nothing attacks a capybara? They seem to be friends with nearly every living being on the planet.
Dude, capybaras are actually so fire, bro. I don't know what's about them, but like, bro, look at these. Look at these bad boys. They're gangsters.
But why? First off, capybaras are naturally calm and very social creatures. They don't care if you go near it or bother them. They're also herbivores, so there's no need to attack other animals and are basically friends with everything. Known to hang out around caimans without getting attacked and also riding on top of them. Where even extremely vicious animals like jaguars and pumas are seen chilling with them as well. But still, why don't these deadly animals attack it? Well, in reality, you've been lied to. Because most of these clips you've seen of them chilling around these predators is simply because they're already full. Or just too lazy to hunt them at that moment. Meaning capybaras aren't always seen as friends.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, what? Ain't no what? That's very sad because, bro, why would you hurt a capybara? But like, damn, bro. That's Mother Nature for you. I think it's important to remember that animals are in hunting mode 24/7 unless they need food. Most animals just kind of just chill out with each other. It's almost like a social contract. That's an interesting fact. What the heck? It's like, yo, I'm just chilling, gang, and like y'all just talk, and then a few moments later, like the animals are just hungry, and boom, the other guy just gets eaten. Capybaras got the survival instincts of a burger. Yeah, bro. Honestly, they're too chill, bro. They're too chill, and that just defeats them.
Did you know there was a bear that fought in World War II alongside the Polish?
Alright, that's just broken. Come on, a bear, bro. I mean, low key, if it's like far range, okay, you can easily beat that, but a bear close range, you're cooked.
It all started when a group of soldiers stumbled into a kid selling a baby bear in the Middle released,
What the
trading it with
hell?
the kid for some food because they thought it was cute. And in the beginning, it was nothing more than a pet, feeding it milk and honey daily, keeping company in their tents, and even naming it Voytech. But over time, the
Voytech?
bear grew giant, over 6
Holy
feet tall and
smokes.
500 pounds.
That's me right
planning
there.
on leaving him behind until they realized they could actually utilize the bear, deciding to register him into an official military rank called
What?
Private Voytech, bypassing laws not allowing animals to travel, where Voytech would actually work on the front lines with the Polish, helping carry heavy artillery shells or anything too heavy, saving tons of energy. Even off the battlefield, he would help detect spies, since every time one snuck in, they would freak out after seeing Voytech, letting everyone know you weren't one of them.
Oh, that's crazy. You got cooked. There's a bear. You mean Voytech? Spy? Shoot.
How did this farmer become the most feared sniper in history and earn the nickname
Farmer?
White Death after slaying hundreds of people? It all started during the Winter War in 1939, where a soon-to-be deadly man named Simo served as a sniper for the Finnish army. But he wasn't like the rest of the snipers and was so good at hiding, he literally caused paranoia in the entire Soviet army.
Holy, wait, that's actually so much aura, bro. Just thinking of him literally instills fear into you.
How? First off, he never stayed in place or in a sniper nest. Instead, he lurked in the forest by himself, burrowing himself under the snow in a white camouflage suit, making him practically invisible. And every time he
Invisible.
took out a few targets, he would move. He would also snipe without a scope, preventing glints, and was an experienced hunter, knowing all the best spots.
Without a scope? Damn! What are you playing? Like, Call of Duty or Fortnite, bro? What? Ain't that kind of hard?
Becoming such a threat, the Soviets began sending entire artillery barrages near random areas in the woods, hoping to hit him, and even had an entire sniper force specifically looking for him, but they still had no luck, continuing to take out hundreds of more soldiers, making the Soviets terrified of the woods, until one day, a Soviet finally spotted him, taking an explosive round to the jaw, being pulled out of the war and somehow still making a full recovery, with a total of 500 confirmed fatalities.
Yeah, that's aura. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, that's aura, bro. Dude, they literally had to use artillery just to try to get him, to get to him, bro. What?
Artillery barrages
And
had
then-
an entire
And a whole squad after him, bro. Bro was on the wanted list, bro. That's crazy. 100% accuracy of scope is something that never repeats. Yeah, bro. Knowing that a sniper is literally lurking in the forest that you're in it is actually tearing as frick. Bro, gone from farming crops to farming corpus. Yeah, corpus, bro. Like, I don't know. That's wild.
These are the terrifying steps you would face if you got chosen to fight in the Coliseum.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
First, Roman guards would break down your door and pull you out of your home. If you couldn't pay your debt, were a criminal, or even a slave, you could get chosen at any random moment. Next, they would shackle you up and drag you through the streets, scraping your entire body as they made their way towards the Coliseum.
That's
But
just disrespect, bro. Nah, I mean, bro, everyone knows the feeling of falling on the ground, bro. And this just getting scraped.
gets more brutal. They'll then march around with your body through crowded streets as an example,
what?
letting people spit or hit
Oh,
you as they
nah.
dragged you
Oh,
everywhere.
nah.
And eventually, you would be taken underneath the Coliseum, pulling you through a dark hallway into a holding cell with nothing in it except a cold floor, forcing you to stay in the cell for multiple days or even weeks as they decided your fate and advertise your upcoming fight.
Watch this
And it
guy
was nearly
die.
impossible for you to sleep, hearing the crowd chanting all day and people dying directly above your head. Even at night, you would hear wild animals as they kept them in the same room as prisoners. Next, after all this waiting, on a random day, they'll suddenly unlock your door and pull you out. You're now about to discover your fate. If they gave you weapons and armor, you could possibly be a gladiator, fighting other prisoners, having the best chance at survival. But if they handed you a dull wooden sword or a towel, your life was already over, facing the punishment called Dominatio ad Bestias, being thrown into one
Yes.
final small pitch black cell, hearing the crowd roaring around you, praying to fight something easy. Eventually opening the door in front of you, walking out and seeing a crowd of over 50,000 people cheering for your death. And in a moment of truth, the Roman guards will raise a small platform within the Coliseum,
Oh,
being
hell
there
no.
with whatever animal you have
Oh,
to
hell
face,
no.
which they specifically starved and
Oh.
vegetated. You could try to fight back, but the best thing you could do is accept your fate.
Oh, hell nah, bruh. Wait, that's Loki? Oh my gosh, that's so scary. But, oh my, yo, what the heck? That's so brutal, bro. Look at this. You do not want. You do not want. You like, bro. You do not want to mess with that, like at all, bro.
The T-Rex was a lot more horrifying than you initially thought, and were way deadlier than what you learned. But why? First off, T-Rex had padded feet, meaning you wouldn't even hear them coming, only feeling the vibration of the ground and sounds of branches snapping around you until it was too late. But
are you serious? This what? 5,000 pound or 5,000 kilogram creature you couldn't hear?
it gets more terrifying. They had better eyesight than eagles and could easily see you from over 3 miles away.
All right, now that's not fair. No, that's not fair, bro. What? 3 miles away, bro? That's like, I don't know, like some I don't know meter metric, but like, yo, that's not fair.
Since they had binocular vision, they wouldn't see you from the side, but stare directly at you. Even if you tried running away, their sense of smell was so strong they could track you down for miles, constantly following you, sometimes even hunting in groups to catch you. But worst of all, they had one of the strongest bite forces on the planet, meaning when they caught you, they wouldn't just eat you. Instead, they pinned you down with their legs and ripped you apart piece by piece. The T-Rex was a lot more horrifying.
I'm so glad we are born now, bro. I'm so glad I wasn't a caveman back then, battling animals with a wooden club, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh, yo. I'm so glad we're born today, y'all. And we have YouTube. Imagine having a picnic and you see a T-Rex standing at the center of your soul. Bro, this joint is like low-key scary, bro. Like just straight, bro is like logged in, bro. Like hell nah. No wonder why they had to get nerfed down into chickens. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Have you ever wondered how we domesticated dogs and turned them into a man's best friend?
Aww.
It all started about 30,000 years ago, where humans and wolves were pretty much enemies. Wolves would always try to sneak up on humans and try to scavenge leftover bones and food. And humans would typically kill or chase them away since they were aggressive. But sometimes there were wolves that weren't aggressive and simply stood near camps without bothering them. Noticing this, humans would only give the calm ones more food. And since they actually helped scare away predators and even warn us when something was near, we didn't mind them. Where these calm wolves began shadowing around humans all the time, and also helped us hunt, sharing the catch. And over time, we got so used to these wolves, we even began letting them live with us, only breeding and helping the ones with calm genetics and fighting off the aggressive ones. And throughout multiple generations of breeding, humans pretty much reshaped wolves' DNA to be friendlier towards us. And thousands of years later, slowly became the dogs that we have today. Have you?
That's so sweet, bro. Maybe see, this isn't a dark truth about animals. Like the other stuff about the T-Rex, bro, and like how cicadas are useless. Yeah, those are crazy. Like absolutely crazy. This, I like to see this more. My dog is aggressive as frick towards strangers, but an angel towards family. That's how it is.
Did you know that penguins can propose and actually get married to each other just by using a rock? The first step is during mating season, where the male penguin will search the crowd looking for a female he likes. Once he has a crush, he'll remember their face, going out on a mission looking for the most perfect pebble he can find. When searching, they try to look for ones that are smooth, shiny, have a flat surface, and are clean. Once they find this special rock, the penguin will carry it in their beak all the way back to their crush, where it all comes down to a moment of truth, at which the male penguin will simply walk up to the female and lay the stone down at her feet. If she doesn't pick up the rock, that means she's not interested or already taken, which can cause the male to panic, constantly dropping more pebbles, hoping she changes her mind. Or sometimes their mate might see this and attack the other penguin.
That's
but
6
on the
foot,
other
dude.
hand, if she does pick up the pebble, it's a yes, where they will then spend the next few days building a nest together, then raising an entire family for months until they grow up, meeting each other again every single mating season.
Oh, that's so sweet, bruh. If penguins evolve, they're gonna make a video called How Humans Get Married with Rocks. What the hell? Remembering his face, they all look the same. Hey, that's racist, bro. Come on now. You can't do that. You can't be saying that, bro. That's with Asians. That's how I feel, bro. You saying that comment.
Orcas are way more disturbing than you actually thought, and are the most feared animal in the ocean. But why? First off, orcas literally harvest sharks' livers. They'll target great whites, learning to flip them upside down, activating something called tonic immobility, temporarily paralyzing them, then ripping out the shark's liver, eating it, and leaving them behind. But it gets worse, as orcas torture seals for fun, playing a game where they'll take turns going up to seals and launching them with their tails, reaching up to 50 feet high, constantly throwing the seal over and over until it finally dies and eating it. Even more horrible, when penguins are resting on icebergs, the orcas will group up and swim together to create giant waves, knocking them off the ice, letting it crawl back up and knocking it down over and over, continuing to practice this hunting tactic until they've had enough training and eating it. But the most brutal thing they do is chase down and harass mother whales with their children. Since the mother is a threat, they use a tactic to tire them out instead, following the whales for hours until they get extremely exhausted. When the mother can't defend anymore, they'll take her baby and eat it alive in front of her.
I thought orcas were sweet. I thought they were so cool. I went to SeaWorld to see the aquariums and yo! Bro, at this point, sharks look more innocent than a 6-year-old. That's what I'm saying, bro. The real definition of cruelty is when they eat the baby in front of their mother. That's some insane cruelty. Yeah, bro, I'm not even joking. I learned about this a while back, but bro, orcas are like crazy. Hold up. Bro, look. So what he actually said, the hoodie guy, bro. Incredible Orca Hunt, Frozen Planet, BBBC.
This time,
Alright,
they produce a subsurface wave.
Oh, hell nah, bro. They're too smart, bro.
It breaks the ice into smaller pieces.
Yo, that's not fair, bro. But imagine having the brain of a human, with like a hunting brain human, and like you're big as frick. That's not fair.
The world.
Oh, and I skip a few seconds and where'd the ice go? Rest in peace, Hugh. And yeah, there is happening. The dark truth about animals. This is crazy, bro. I'm glad I'm a human. If you guys want to see more content like this, leave this video here.